the suspect, victim, witness, and investigator. Noon of that day, a young lady is freely walking in the street. She didn't notice that there is a man behind him. And suddenly, the man followed him and getting to pointed a gun on his head and slowly dropping the gun on her neck. The young lady refused. The man pulled her hair to get her in a corner. The man pulled her, make her lie down on the floor. And she noticed that this is the man she rejected last few weeks ago. The man beat him using his gun that caused bleeding on her head and loss of her consciousness. Due to lust, he started to rape the young lady. He didn't think what are the consequences of what he's doing. And when the satisfaction was fulfilled, the young helpless lady was still in the trauma. After he raped the young lady, he pointed his gun and insulted the lady. He shot the victim on her head because this is the aim of the suspect, to kill the lady. Accidentally, there is a lady passing by in that corner. She saw a suspicious man and a lady lying on the floor. She immediately called a police for a response. The police received an emergency call and started to get some information. She immediately responded to the location of the crime reported. She arrested the suspicious man who is still in the crime scene. He insisted that he did not commit any crime and accidentally passed by in that corner, and the investigation began. She take the dying declaration, documenting some evidences from the crime scene. Marking of victim and some evidences. Photographing. Collecting blood as an evidence. Collecting semen from the suspect in the crime scene. Collecting some powder as an evidence. Interviewing the witness for some information. Deliver all the collected evidences to the laboratory. To link the suspect, the investigator must collect some samples from the suspect of the crime, collecting powder, blood, and semen. Here are some photographed blood splatter in the crime scene. The blood sample, semen sample, and the gunpowder sample. Collected samples are delivered to the laboratory. Using DNA typing, the semen and blood from the victim and suspect will be examined in the process of isolation, analysis, determination, and comparison. In isolation, the investigators start with isolation using cotton swab. She collects the sample and isolates inside a sealed evidence plastic bag. In the analysis, using RSID strip test as a confirmatory test, the presence of semenoglutinin is identified, so it's confirmed that the semen from the victim is positive. In the presumptive test, it used visual alternate light test and visualized using blue and yellow light. The semen fluorescence due to the presence of molecules. In determination,
addition, the result of the semen can be a positive evidence for a crime. In the comparison, using RFLP or restriction fragment length polymorphism, the semen is extracted and purified. The purified semen is digested using restriction and the nucleus. Using gel electrophoresis, it examined the fragments. Using RFLP, it determined that the sample from the suspect and victim is a mutual gene. It is a strong evidence that he is the one who raped the victim. Blood analysis. In the isolation, the investigators start with isolation using cotton swab. She collects blood sample from the victim and she noticed that there is a transfer stain in the crime scene and checked the footwear of the suspect and there is a blood. So she also collects those blood sample from the suspect. In the analysis, using phenolphthalein as a presumptive test, it determines that the blood from the suspect is a substance of blood of a human. In determination, the positive result of the analysis can be a possible evidence for a crime. In the comparison, using the DNA analysis, the analysis method that they use is the RFLP or the restriction fragment length polymorphism. The comparison of blood from the victim and the blood from the footwear of the suspect in transfer stain is positive, a strong evidence that he is present in the crime scene. In gunshot residue analysis, the investigator used gloves to limit potential contamination. Also, the investigator used adhesive cotton swab to test the surface of the hand of the suspect, also to collect some GSR sample. Using SEM or scanning electron microscopy, it determined that the GSR is present and some chemical element found in the sample, and 99% composition based on the sample collected. The GSR matched to the bullet of the gun of the suspect. It is a strong evidence that the suspect shot the victim using caliber 45 that caused the death. Through the positive results of DNA analysis and gunshot residue, it is proved that he is the one who raped and shot the victim. The suspect charged with rape and murder.